Peak here in Ohio. We have the very latest models.
Well, last night's storms definitely left a mark across a big part of Northeast Ohio. We'll check in on folks to see how they're cleaning up at a time when everyone is asked to stay home. Also, Passover begins tonight, and we'll see how Erica and Geraldo Rivera plan to observe it safely.
And are you respecting everyone's space when you're outside? Our Mike Polk has a lesson in proper walking etiquette. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And a very good Wednesday afternoon. We are halfway to Friday, as I like to say. I hope everyone's making it the best they can. Thank you so much for joining us on What's New. I'm Jay Crawford, still hosting from home. Betsy Kling back at our WKYC studios. She'll join us here in just a second. As always, we're standing by for President Donald Trump's daily coronavirus press briefing. When he comes to the podium, we will take you there live. In the meantime, we start each day with the very latest headlines surrounding the coronavirus. And on that note, Betsy, take it away.
Well, we're going to start with good news today for healthcare workers. Apple is donating 100,000 N95 masks to Ohio's frontline workers. They received the masks yesterday, and they were added to the state's stockpile. A lot of businesses have closed, but there are currently 33,000 jobs available in Ohio. These jobs are all critical to healthcare, manufacturing, and our food supply. We have a link to the jobs at WKYC.com. And of course, we want to get you updated on the latest numbers, too. There are now 5,148 confirmed cases in the state. More than 53,000 people have been tested for the virus. 193 have died. There's also more than 1,900 that have been or currently are hospitalized. Now, of course, the big question everybody is asking is, when will things get back to normal? And state's leaders say it's a complicated answer. Laura Queso has more from the governor's daily press briefing.
State leaders say the good news, and thanks to you, Ohio is in a much better position than we thought it would be in at this point. State leaders say social distancing and hygiene habits are working to slow the spread. As a state, we've saved a lot of lives. The bad news is we've lost a lot of lives in the midst of this health crisis. Meantime, top Trump economic advisor Larry Kudlow said the economy may not reopen for as many as 8 weeks. The lieutenant governor used some words from Dr. Anthony Fauci when talking about getting back to normal. He said it's going to be a gradual pushback.
The first condition is a steep drop in the number of cases, which we haven't seen yet in the actual number of cases. And you've got to make sure you are absolutely going in the right direction. And then he said, you gradually come back. You don't jump into this with both feet. And that was the advice of Dr. Fauci.
A vaccine is critical, but leaders say we likely won't see one for a year. We also need more testing. And we also need more protective equipment. We simply do not have enough in this state for our frontline workers. So, coming up at 6 o'clock, I'll tell you what the governor is asking you to do when it comes to PPE. Laura Queso, 3 News.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. First up on your feed at 5. Yesterday, senior health correspondent Monica Robbins broke the story that Metro Health's projections of the surge of cases in Ohio is actually much lower than what the state has been predicting. Tonight, she reports that other models are now starting to mirror Metro's model as well.
Several organizations have been releasing models hoping to predict what the COVID-19 impact will be on Ohio. And yesterday, I reported Metro Health's model, which was significantly lower than what the state had been projecting. Well, today, Dr. Amy Atkin released a new model quite similar to Metro's.
Our latest projection is 1,600 cases per day. Still a lot of cases per day, still a load on our hospitals, but this is the effect you have done. And watch this. In Ohio, we took our prediction, and you have basically done this.
And while this is very positive news, it really doesn't change anything. It means the diligence of Ohioans to practice social distancing and hygiene is working, all of which is Public Health Protocol 101 when a treatment is not available. Unfortunately, COVID-19 is not going away, and while we may have flattened the curve for now, if we don't continue doing what we're doing, we may find ourselves in a crisis situation like what New York City is facing. So the experts say don't plan on things getting back to normal soon. Plan on a new normal.
So I would say to you is that religious services may have to be done with masks on. Okay, so you may be able to get back to sitting next to somebody, but it's your family unit. There's a space, and there's another then another family unit. You don't have to be sheltered in place all the time as we reintroduce.
Monica Robbins, 3 News.
Well, it certainly has been something everybody's been talking to me about, the wicked storms that rolled through much of our viewing area overnight. Today, the National Weather Service confirmed 2 different tornado tracks with an EF1 containing 100-mile-per-hour winds that rolled through parts of Lorain and Medina counties, and then an EF0 with 80-mile-per-hour winds that's been confirmed in southern Stark County near East Sparta. This barn in Grafton was damaged when the tornado first touched down, and then it moved toward the Medina area, causing a lot of tree damage and power lines coming down. There were widespread reports of hail, high wind, and heavy rain. Our Tiffany Tarpley talked to families across the area.
You can hear the sounds of chainsaws throughout this area of Medina County. You can even see here behind me these tree branches that litter the lawns here. People really trying to clean up at this point. But with everything that they are going through, their spirits remain high. Let's go ahead and show you a little bit more of this area of Smith and Prospect. Branches being cut, limbs taken away. Some trees fell across lawns, others on homes. And over in Lorain County, too, this Elyria home on Glenwood sustained damage to the roof and elsewhere after this tree was uprooted from a neighboring backyard. The homeowner didn't want her face on camera, but her adult daughter was home when those winds blew through last night.
Her bedroom was on the front of the house, thank goodness. And the bedroom that we were redoing was in the back of the house where actually the tree has come down. No, it's an extra stressor to be sure, but it's a house. It can be replaced.
And you can see even now behind me, crews coming through this area of Medina. But coming up at 6 o'clock, you are going to hear from more families from this area, not only cleaning up, but thankful for what they still do have. Tiffany Tarpley, 3 News.
Well, it is only early April, everybody, and remember, spring is a big part of our severe weather season. We are just getting into the start of all of that. So now's a great time to review with your family all of your safety procedures, find your safety spot, get everybody on board with knowing where to go and in moment's notice, because you may have to run for cover at some point this year. Thanks so much, Tiffany. We appreciate that. Well, Jay, I'm going to toss it over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Betsy. Here is a very disturbing number. Listen to this. 20% of the COVID-19 cases in the state of Ohio are healthcare workers. This, according to Dr. Amy Acton. The number is even worse in Cuyahoga County. 33%, 1 in 3 of the coronavirus infections are to healthcare workers. These are stunning numbers. And when you look at those numbers, it's fearful because these are the folks that are actually on the front lines. We don't hear from those, though, because in Ohio, they say there's a fear if they speak out, they could be fired.
So I just found out the other day that they had 12 positive patients on the floor, and none of the employees returned.
Several nurses have broken their silence with the promise we conceal their identities. They say some nurses get no masks at all, even though they're interacting with healthcare workers who have been exposed to sick patients. Others say they're not being told when someone they've been treating tests positive. Tonight at 6 on What Matters Most, we'll bring you the full story of what these workers are dealing with, including who they feel is dropping the ball. Well, Ohio is under an order to stay at home right now, but there is a group of men and women out there on the roads making sure we still get the food and the other products we need. They're the truck drivers, and they are mainstays of the nation's supply chain, and never more vital than they are right now in this time of crisis. Their jobs are even more difficult right now, too, because many restaurants are closed and the continuing threat of coronavirus. James Rushworth delivers goods to Save-A-Lot stores in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York.
If we go down, what's going to happen? See, I haven't heard any reports of any truck driver got sick yet. But if truck drivers start going down, that's the backbone to bringing everything in, supplies and everything. I'm probably going on 21 to 27 days right now in a row.
It's tough times for sure. Rushworth says first responders deserve much of the praise, but truck drivers should not be overlooked. They certainly have earned a shout out for their frontline work. What would we do without them? Time to get a check now of what else is making headlines. And for that, we go back to Russ Mitchell.
Yep. Russ, I know a lot of folks are wondering when this lockdown will be lifted, but a lot of U.S. folks are looking across the pond to see what's happening in other cities that have already had to deal with this virus.
That's right. We've got some encouraging news for you today. Life is slowly returning to normal in that city where the coronavirus pandemic began. In Wuhan, Chinese authorities lifted the 11-week lockdown. Also, residents were once again allowed to travel in and out of the city. Wuhan was in lockdown for 76 days. Bernie Sanders' bid to become the next president of the United States is over. The 78-year-old Vermont senator broke the news to his supporters this morning. That leaves former Vice President Joe Biden as the presumptive Democratic nominee to challenge President Trump in November. And a special milestone in that massive I-480 Valley View Bridge project today. ODOT crews carefully placed the last beams for the bridge deck. Additional lanes of traffic will be built during the next phase of construction. So things moving on nicely there, Betsy.
I love to watch those big girder haulers or whatever those things are roll around. I think they're so cool.
I feel like I'm 7 years old when I see that, but it's always fabulous.
It is. It's great. Can't wait till everything is done on that, too.
So true.
Thanks so much. We'll check in with you in the next half hour. Well, we have a happy story to share with you now. Johnny's Downtown provided free lunch for more than 100 people today. The restaurant's owner, Joe Santosuso, said his team loaded up trucks and brought pasta, turkey clubs, burgers, and risotto, some of the other Johnny's favorites, to Greater Cleveland Food Bank.
We're just so happy to have been able to help the food bank today, and their volunteers and the National Guard, and feeding 160 people. We enjoyed it, and I hope they do too.
Well, they are certainly helping a lot of people as well. We love hearing about our heroes in our communities, so if you would please send us what people are doing in your area. You can text to us. Again, it's a text message to 216-344-3300. Tell us what folks are doing in your area, and be sure to use the word hero somewhere in your description. Well, Passover begins tonight, but many will be observing it much differently than in years past. We're going to check in with Geraldo and Erica Rivera on how they are observing it in a time of physical distancing. And Stephanie, we're also going to be checking in on what's clicking in Cleveland.
Betsy, I know you'll appreciate this. We are breaking down exactly how soap works to fight off the COVID-19 coronavirus. Now let's check in with Jason.
Good afternoon, Stephanie, and good afternoon, everybody. So after a night of some very intense showers and thunderstorms and even a few confirmed tornadoes, now things are going downhill from here in terms of temperature, and we might even get some snow. I'm timing it out for you coming up after the break.
Welcome back to What's New. Jewish families around the world and here in Northeast Ohio are preparing for the start of Passover. That's tonight. Many of you know Erica and Geraldo Rivera. They're very active in the Jewish community here in the Cleveland area. We caught up with them to see how they're planning to adapt amid the current situation.
Passover is my favorite holiday because we get together with family, friends, and our family, and we get all the cousins together and the kids.
The Jewish holiday of Passover begins at sundown tonight, and normally it's a time for large gatherings of family and friends. Erica and Geraldo Rivera usually host a big celebration, but not this year amid the coronavirus pandemic.
I'm sad not to have my mom at the table with us. It is very sad, my brother and his wife and their kids.
The Riveras will be home in Shaker Heights with their daughter, Sol, but plan to connect with family near and far over video conferencing.
It's a different Passover this year. We're gonna have a Zoom conference with my mom and my stepdad on Wednesday night, and then my brother.
I'm glad we have a 14-year-old because I wouldn't have any idea how to do any of this stuff.
Even shopping for the Seder dinner has looked different this year.
We've got to ration out the matzah. We only have one box of matzah, and so I'm gonna have to find a way to get my hands on more matzah. I'm gonna figure out curbside pickup shopping through Instacart or Prime Now, and I have this new recipe that's amazing. It's Martha Stewart's toffee covered matzah.
Is she Jewish?
Martha Stewart's not Jewish, but she does not discriminate when she cooks.
Like always, memories will endure.
As a child, hearing my mom tell me the story, my mom and her sisters always reminisce about their Seders with their families.
This year, perhaps more poignant than others. And like so many navigating this new normal, the Riveras are determined to stay connected, just in an unexpected way.
It brings me a lot of comfort that we have access to Zoom and FaceTime, and we can call each other and still try to go through the Haggadah together. We'll see what happens, but I know that will be really special and memorable.
I think the main thing is that we're all in this together. You know, this is a Jewish holiday. Sunday will be the Christian holiday. It's all the same holiday. We're all in it together.
Erica, Geraldo, thank you very much. We appreciate you talking to us, and we hope this time is a safe and enjoyable one for your family. Well, Betsy, last night was anything but safe and enjoyable. I know it sounded like fireworks show about midnight, and we had hail hitting the house so hard. I was fearful we were going to have broken windows. That's how hard it was hailing here.
It was bad. We had some 2-inch hail reports. It's always interesting when you're looking at reports. They kind of skim across the screen that we have very quickly, and you see hen egg hail reported at Slavic Village, and I'm like, hen egg? And I have to like think in my head, like, holy, goodness gracious. That's like 2-inch hail. So yeah, it definitely got some attention out there. But the good news is all of that is gone. We have blue skies, beautiful afternoon. Get outside, enjoy it, breathe deep, because things are going to be changing very quickly here in the next 12 hours. We go now to Jason Fraser, who of course has more on the forecast. Jason?
Hey there, Betsy, and hello, Jane. Hi, everybody. Yeah, we can call this the calm after the storm. And because it was so nice today, we did have a number of members from the National Weather Service from the Cleveland office that were investigating all of the damage. So just before the broadcast, we were able to confirm a couple of things that I want to show you. There were a couple of EF1 tornadoes that had pushed through a couple of counties, and they include Lorain, Medina, and Summit counties. They're also investigating one that happened near Barberton as well that we're hoping to get some additional information. And when I say EF1 tornadoes, I'm talking about tornadoes that are anywhere between 86 to 110 miles per hour in terms of winds. And this is the time where we start to see an increase in tornadoes during the season. So as Betsy had mentioned earlier in the newscast, make sure that you know exactly where to go and what to do when a tornado watch or warning is issued for your area. And that includes going to the basement or heading to an interior your room and making sure that you also have some added protection for your head, including a helmet as well as some shoes. Temps right now across the region right now, we are pretty warm. Medina checking in at about 69. It is 70 degrees over in Norwalk, Ashland, as well as Mansfield. Doppler radar, we got clear skies across the region, but that is going to change in a matter of hours, and we are watching a system that is moving right now over Wisconsin as well as Illinois, and it eventually is going to move into our area, and that is what's going to be giving us our next chance at some precipitation. So National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast, you'll notice that we start to get increasing clouds by the evening, and then we'll start to see some additional rain showers in the overnight hours. Can't rule out the possibility of even another thunderstorm pushing across our area by the morning hours. Downtown Cleveland, as well as Menor, Euclid area, as well as Ashtabula, you guys will continue to see those rain showers push across. And then notice where the temperatures are going. They're going in the opposite direction of where the majority of us want them to be, which is in the 40s. And then I can't rule out the possibility of even some mixing in some areas like Ravenna. You see some of the pink popping up there on the screen, and that is because if you notice, the wind is going to shift from the south to the west and even northwest, and that's going to allow much colder air to push across our region, and some of that precip is going to end up mixing from rain into that wintry mix and even the S word, yes, snow. Here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Rex 7-day forecast. So high for tomorrow of 48 degrees, 44 for Friday, and then as far as the weekend goes, it looks like Saturday ends up being, Betsy, the better of the two weekend days.
That's right. So folks will be able to get outside and enjoy some more of the weather, albeit a little bit cooler. And you're right, Jason, the National Weather Service just typing up some of the details of the Barberton area. That is a confirmed EF1 tornado, 100 yards wide, went about 8 miles from Barberton down toward the Green area. So that track may be extended as the investigation continues. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. And appreciate your help last night, too. Jason was handling a lot of what was going on with social media.
It's all about the team.
It is, definitely. Thanks, Jason. Well, Wine with the Wine, it's become a popular event and a phrase. Now, there's a T-shirt about it. You knew that was coming. Come on. We'll come right back.
Welcome back to What's New. If you're anything like me, you've got all kinds of time on your hand, too much time on your hands. So you find yourself, Stephanie, clicking around on the internet. And I wonder what people are clicking on in Cleveland today. That's why you join us now.
That's right, Jay. And you know, everybody is talking about having wine with DeWine at those daily press conferences with Governor Mike DeWine. But did you know that you can actually dress the part? Yes, you can, thanks to Amy Jenkins of Aubie Designs. Here's what she told me about how she got this latest idea.
Our lives have all been turned upside down, and 2 p.m. every day, that's like the stable factor for us. Stanley said, hey, you should make us some t-shirts, and I make t-shirts, so I was like, yeah, that's a good idea.
She's got tons of designs, including Dr. Amy Acton shirts and socks, and part of the proceeds benefit the Salvation Army of Wadsworth. So you can check out that full interview on WKYC.com and the WKYC app. Okay, now we know that we need to spend 20 seconds washing our hands. Monica Robbins here at 3 News has drilled that into our heads. But let's take a closer look at why 20 seconds and actually how the soap fights off specifically COVID-19 coronavirus. So soap is made of, like most things, tiny molecules. One side loves the water, the other side loves fat and hates water. Now, let's see how soap interacts with COVID-19 specifically. You see the things sticking out there? Those are the things that allow the virus to get into your lungs, which we do not want. But the other layer of the virus has a weakness, the outer layer, excuse me. That weakness is the side of the soap molecule that loves fat. Scientists call that outer layer of the virus a membrane of oily lipid molecules. And fats are a type of lipids, which make that outer layer no match for soap. Each one pries that outer layer apart, exposing the inside of the virus, which dissolves in water. Eventually, soap forms a bubble around all of that nasty stuff, which scientists call a micelle, and then the water helps you wash that away. So, why 20 seconds is the next question. Everybody at home, look at your hands. Jay, look at your hands. You see all those lines there? There's lots of tiny little crevices in those lines, and we need all of those 20 seconds in order to get the soap into all those nooks and crannies. So that's why the 20 seconds.
Makes sense. And you've got, like, even on the back side of your hands, your knuckles and everything else. I mean, you're just filled with little crevices on the front and backs of your hands. That's where you got to really get in that soap, get that soap in there and kill those viruses.
That's right.
20 seconds. Pick a song that's 20 seconds. Sing it each and every time. Stephanie, thanks. We'll see you in the next half hour when we take a look at our daily pop break. Coming up on What's New, of course, we're waiting for the president's daily coronavirus press briefing. We'll take you there when it happens. Also, some of us are in desperate need of a haircut. Today's show host, Carson Daly, cut his own hair live on the air. You don't want to miss that. Plus, Mike Polk is here to educate us on proper walking etiquette in a way only Mike Polk can. I cannot wait for that. I'm sure it will make us laugh. And a local couple shares their story as their 2-week-old baby battles coronavirus. That's all coming up when What's New comes right back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to What's New. I'm Betsy Kling here at the WKYC Studios, along with my co-host, Jay Crawford, who's working from home. And Jay, you have another great heroes story for us.
Yeah, we love these stories. Keep them coming. They definitely put a smile on our face. You know, one of the hardest things about this pandemic it's missing parties, whether it's big gathering celebrations or birthday parties. But if you can't go to the party, maybe the party can actually come to you.
Happy birthday, dear Grandma.
Cha-cha-cha. I love that.
How sweet is that? Nettie Fink of Madison just turned 91 years young, and her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren showed up on her front porch to put a smile on her face, and you can clearly see they did. It was a huge surprise. They also watched as Nettie blew out the birthday candles on her 91st birthday cake. Happy birthday, Nettie, from Betsy and myself and all of us here at Channel 3. I love that story. You could feel her joy radiating right through the door.
I know, it's just so sweet and it's so touching, and I know once this is all done, they're going to get to hug her again, and they're going to be really happy about that. Thanks,
We
Jay.
can't
We
wait.
needed that. That's good stuff. All right, let's get you caught up on the latest developments with the coronavirus here in Ohio. The state shared some really optimistic news today. Leaders originally predicted that there would be about 9,800 cases per day at the peak of the virus in Ohio. They've been calling it the surge. Well, their latest projection is now 1,600 cases per day. It's still a lot, but it's not 9,800, and that is definitely some good stuff. It's working. All this social distancing is working. We have your daily update on the number of cases here in Ohio, too. There's now 5,148 confirmed cases. 193 people have died. And a lot of people are running into issues still when filing for unemployment. The state says that by the end of the week, there will be another 1,000 people answering calls. It may be a job opportunity time. Well, now it's time for our top talker. It's hard to adjust to life with a newborn baby at home. And one local couple is having to make that adjustment and deal with the fact that that 2-week-old newborn baby has tested positive for the coronavirus. Will Ewick shares their story.
Felt completely shattered because at this point, it was my worst fear.
This is supposed to be one of the happiest times in the Clancy house.
March 23rd at right about 5 a.m. in the morning.
Because just a few weeks ago, they welcomed baby Eli into the world.
It was a hectic, very, very long day.
We made sure that we kept our family away, our friends away, everything.
Despite all their precautions and care, just days after returning home with their newborn son, Sean began to feel a cold coming on that turned out to be something worse.
I thought I was just lack of sleep, tired, worn down, so I thought I was getting a sinus infection. Got swabbed Sunday and then positive results on Monday, jaw dropped. I couldn't believe it.
I felt like now it's just up to me to keep him and also my daughter, who wasn't showing any symptoms, safe.
They're not sure if Eli was exposed at the same time Sean was or if he was exposed later. But despite Sean quarantining himself in the basement, Eli started showing symptoms and tested positive a week later.
You know, my world got rocked. Here I am, sick myself, banished to the basement, sad emotionally, and then he's got it.
Needless to say, it's been an emotional roller coaster.
So now baby Eli spends most of his time isolated in the basement with his dad, and everything Dawn does, changes, feedings, or even seeing her newborn son.
It's an unreal feeling.
She does so with a gown, gloves, and mask.
I look down at him and he sees me and I know he hears me, but I just feel like, oh my God, he's looking at me. I have this mask on. It's been really tough.
They're hoping to reunite as a family soon, and that their story will help those struggling realize it's a tough time for everyone.
We haven't even been able to take a family photo together.
But happier days are on the horizon.
This is one of the worst possible things I'm sure you can go through.
Will Ewick.
I can't wait for it to just go back to normal.
3 News.
Wow, Will, thank you very much. We are certainly praying for that family. Hopefully Eli recovers and everyone is just fine. Let's get a check now on some of the other headlines that are making news at this hour. For that, we go back to our WKYC studios and Russ Mitchell. Happy Wednesday, Russ.
Happy Wednesday to you too, Jay. Here's what's coming up. Some incredible damage to show you from the severe weather overnight. Some homes in the village of East Sparta in Stark County were hit by what is believed to be a tornado. Some of the homes are missing the roof, as you see there, and the foundations were moved. No one was hurt. A Lakewood-based apparel printing company is showing support for local healthcare workers. GV Art Plus Design has created a Heroes on the Frontlines t-shirt. Half of the proceeds from sales will go to the Cleveland Clinic and University Hospitals. The shirt is $25 and is available online. And Cedar Point has suspended monthly billing for all of the 2020 season. All pass holders are on a payment plan. This is the park's opening date remains uncertain this year. Billing will resume once the park has reopened, and it was supposed to open on May 9th, but obviously now that's not going to happen.
Just a minute ago that there were such lines to get into Cedar Point that many people that had driven there to the park that late fall day didn't even get in. That seems like another world ago. And
really does.
I almost can't let my mind go to the fact that that's actually going to one day be the way we are again.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get back to that sooner than later.
Yeah, it was crazy last
Appreciate
year.
it. We'll see
You're
you at 6. It really was. Yeah. We'll see you at 6. Time now for our daily pop break. Celebrities make do for themselves and bombshells from Tom Brady. Here's Stephanie Haney.
Yo, you home? I'm home. You home? I'm home. Are you home? I'm home. I'm home. Are you home? Hello!
It's nice to know that Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon are checking up on each other. There's only so much to talk about, though, so the call turned into this quarantine remix.
Gross. I'm home. Are you home? Oh, yeah. I'm home. Are you home? What I want to eat. I'm home.
Yep, that's all of us. Julia Louis-Dreyfus did her own face for a video about staying home because her team is following the rules.
So normally when I do a PSA like this, I have a hair and makeup team, a glam team, professional glam team, who come and help me with my look. But today, they're staying at home. They're staying safe. And that's what I would like to ask you to do.
The governor of California tweeted that she's never looked better, and we agree, safe is a good look. Now, have you tried giving yourself a haircut yet? Celeb hairdresser Chris Appleton called into the Today Show to help Carson Daly do it.
And is the motion like south to north, like the same way, like up, or bottom from the top? Bottom from the top, Carson.
Carson's son helped with the back, and it seemed to be going okay until Carson posted this. Don't worry, it's a joke, and it actually turned out pretty great. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers QB Tom Brady spilled his guts to Howard Stern today, talking about how he knew he'd be leaving the Patriots at the start of last season. He also said he stopped going to team activities because his supermodel wife Gisele Bündchen told him he wasn't pulling his weight at home, and when it comes to his Super Bowl success, he shares credit with the New England coach Bill Belichick because they both do very different jobs.
Jay, it was so shocking when Tom Brady left the Patriots, even with all the conversation about it. But surprisingly to me, he seems pretty humble about all his Super Bowl success there. Jay, you are the expert. What do you make of all this Tom Brady situation?
Well, we have to remember who his wife is. Gisele Bündchen is his wife. So if there's ever a man who's completely secure with who he is and what he's accomplished in life, all he has to do is look at his 6 Super Bowl rings and realize that he's married to a woman that many consider to be the model of perfection, or at least at one point in her career. So I think he's very secure with who he is. He is a humble guy, too, and that's not an act. He really will tell you that he's accomplished all of this with the help of a lot of great players and, of course, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, coach of all time. It was the perfect storm. Greatest coach ever, greatest quarterback ever, and both of them had an insatiable desire to be the best. You put it all together, you get 6 Super Bowl rings. Pretty good.
There you go.
All right. Stephanie, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. Ahead on What's New, your house is probably transformed into an office, a school, or both. We're going to talk to an expert about how to keep everyone on a schedule. That's coming up. Plus, weather with Jason. Jason, how's it looking?
Well, coming up, I'm tracking the possibility of some snow. Yes, I said snow and cooler weather.
Well, we had a doozy of a night last night. Wake up today, sun came out, temperatures are nice, birds are singing. Everybody's thinking, we're in the clear, this is it. Not so much. Jason has details on a little change coming to the forecast.
Oh, you know what? I really hate to be the bearer of bad news after that wonderful introduction, Betsy. And hello, everybody. Yeah, my name's Jason. I'm filling in for Matt this week. And one of the things that Betsy was talking about was just how nice it is. And let's take a look right now at temperatures across Northeast Ohio. And some of you are sitting right now in the 70s right now. It is 70 degrees in Mansfield, 69 down in Millersburg. And good evening to you over in Dover. You guys are checking in at 70 degrees. Closer to the lakeshore, though, it is a little bit cooler, including 58 degrees over in Ashtabula County. So Doppler radar, as you can see right now, things are all good. For the most part, everybody has clear skies, but to our west, that is the next system that is going to be bringing us not only some rain showers, but also has the potential to give us some snow. Yes, I said the S word, snow. So as it heads eastward, one of the things you're going to notice is that there's going to be a shift in wind, and that is indicative of not only a front coming through, but also some much cooler air that's going to be pushing across our region. So overnight, we'll see temperatures stay right around the middle to upper 50s, but you are going to start to notice some rain showers that are going to move across our region, likely around 1 to about 5 a.m., and then by 6 a.m., they continue to move eastward. So downtown Cleveland, Menor, Euclid, you guys will definitely see some rain showers, and by the 8 o'clock hour, things could get pretty moderate as far as the rainfall down in the Akron area. We will see a little bit of some sunshine tomorrow, and then we will welcome back in the rain showers. But if you notice there, right to the upper part of your screen there, we start to see the winds also pick up as well. So some of you will see sustained winds anywhere between 15 to 25 miles per hour, but wouldn't be surprised in some parts to see some winds gusting up to about 30 to about 35 miles. And look what happens when that wind shifts. It goes from the west, and that's when we start to see some of those rain showers become some snow showers. So we're not expecting any major snowfall with this. This is really going to be what we like to call a wintry mix, just that wet mix. So you might see some accumulation on some grassy surfaces, but we're not expecting any major snowfall with this. And some of the snowflakes might even continue into tomorrow night and into Friday. All right, here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. So 48 for tomorrow, 44 for Friday, but at least, Betsy, by the weekend, we start to recover. It looks like Saturday ends up being the nicer of the 2 weekend days.
Right. Well, we appreciate that. At least we have, you know, a little sunshine in the forecast. That's all we need. A little bit goes a long way.
Just a little.
We'll take it. We'll take every bit.
Just a
all
little.
right. Thanks so much, Jason. We'll have more details on your forecast coming up on What Matters Most at 6. Well, we've been talking about all kinds of things to do while you're stuck at home, and organizing comes up often. But organizing your kids' workspaces, we talked about last week, those nifty little pop-up dividers, they're good. Well, now let's turn to organizing your life. Now that you have time to do that, how do you keep everyone on a schedule at home? I asked our organizing expert, Kristen Gambaccini, about that.
What I have tried to do since all of this started was somewhat keep our school routine. You know, I still expect them when they wake up in the morning to make their bed and brush their teeth. Because if not, then the day gets away from us and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, has anybody picked up a toothbrush today? So this is, you know, I try to keep, even though it's a little bit later in the morning, I'm not making them get up as early, but we're trying to keep that routine.
Well, what about those who are, you know, trying to keep an eye on their kids' rooms? Yeah, not so neat and tidy anymore. We asked Kristen about that too.
With 10 people in a house the size of mine, which is not very big, cleaning up after yourself is something that I very much expect from especially my older kids. To an extent, I mean, they each have their own little things. You know, one kid's clean room is totally different than another's clean room based on their personalities. And I've had to kind of learn that curve. But I think the most important thing is to just still be in somewhat of that school routine as far as what you expect from them in the morning and then what you expect from them at the end of the day.
We'll keep checking in with Kristen coming up, of course, in the days to come. Right now, we want to head to the White House to hear what President Trump has to say in today's COVID-19 address.
Together in churches in the future. We're getting closer. You see the numbers. We're getting much closer to getting our country back to the way it was. We have now an extra 2 countries that have been attacked, 184. They're being attacked as we speak, but we'll all win. At some point, we're going to all win. We're going to do it sooner than people think. Earlier today, I spoke with 10,000 of America's faith leaders to thank them for raising the spirits of our people during these very difficult days. While we may be physically apart, we can use this time to pray, to reflect, and to focus on our personal relationship with God. I also spoke with more than 3,000 mayors, county commissioners, and state and tribal leaders to provide an update on our administration's ongoing drive to beat the virus, to crush the virus, and that's happening. It's happening, I think, if you look a little bit more quickly than people thought, maybe a lot more quickly, I hope. And it's something that all over the world we're watching, but people are watching us and seeing what we're doing, and they're very impressed. We're dealing with many countries right now, many countries, and we're giving them whatever information we're able to glean. I just spoke with the representatives of the UK, and I think that their great prime minister is doing much better today, or at least better. But certainly he's had a tough bout, and he's still going through a tough time, but he seems to be doing better, and that's good. And we send our regards to Boris and his family and his friends, all of the people that really love him. He's become a very popular, before this happened, became a very popular prime minister. He's doing an excellent job. He loves their country. He loves our country. So we appreciate everything he's done, and hopefully he's going to be okay. Speaking of great people and people that have done a fantastic job, I have Secretary of State Mike Pompeo with us, and I'd like to ask Mike to say a few words, and then I think what we'll do, in order to get him back to the State Department, we'll take some questions, and we'll then go on with the rest of what I'm going to say. Then we'll take some questions after that, and then Vice President Pence will take over. So, Mike Pompeo, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under the President's leadership, my team and I at the State Department are doing our part to protect the American people from the virus.
We will be keeping a close eye on this press conference as it continues, and we will be streaming it live at WKYC.com as well as on the 3 News app. For now, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more What's New.
COVID-19. Hey, mic check 1, 2, 3. Tonight, our healthcare workers. Tonight, local healthcare workers. Serena.
Welcome back to What's New. Walking is obviously one of the best things you can do. You get outside, get some fresh air, but of course, you still need to practice that safe social distancing. Need guidance? Of course you do. Who better to give it than Mr. Social Distancing himself, Mike Polk?
You guys are too close. Spread it apart. Yeah, I mean, can't go into the office. Had a lot of time off, so I've been coming down here to the metro parks pretty regularly, just to kind of keep an eye on things and make sure everyone is practicing proper social distancing. Good spacing. Yep, good. Nice work, everybody. Here are some tips that I read about online that you should be following when you're going out and enjoying the outdoors right now. No walking in the middle of the sidewalk. Thank you for respectfully moving to that side and making 6 feet of room. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. No spitting. I have no real authority or anything. This is a Scoutmaster shirt that I got at a thrift store. But people see it and, you know, they assume. If you want to get that outdoor exercise, but you don't want to be in a crowd, consider not going out during peak hours when everyone's out. Get up super early or go out super late, like a creep, like me. Are those dogs of the same household? Well, then get them away from each other. Good spacing. Stay safe. No spitting. All right. Now is not the time to be looking down at your cell phone. So let's like spread that out just a little bit. Thanks a lot. Just spread it out. Thank you. Another day keeping everybody safe. Thank you for not trying to hug me. I know it's got to be driving them nuts. They're like, it's that huge celebrity. And they got to be like, oh, I just want to go over and hug them. And they can't. And I promise, double hugs when this is over for everybody, whether you ask for it or not. So, good spacing. I like seeing it. Nice job, ladies. Good spacing. I like seeing it. I don't get a lot of thank yous for the work I'm doing out here. Nobody's like, thanks, Mike, for yelling at me and keeping me safe. But I didn't get into this for the thank yous or to make friends. I got into this to try and keep people safe. And I do think most people are appreciative. Nice social distancing, guys. Good job. This is Mike Polk in the Metro Parks, keeping people safe.
Well, Mike, on behalf of all those people that didn't say it, I'll say it. Thank you very much for keeping us safe. The social distancing police, Mike Polk. Well, if you're looking for more fun activities to do outdoors, there's plenty to do. The Lake Erie Nature and Science Center shared some pretty cool ideas with us recently. Check it out.
For a 1-foot hike, you need either a string or, you know what, a hula hoop works too. I don't own a hula hoop, but I do own string. So I made a string circle. So you come this way. I made a string circle. It doesn't have to be big. And all you do is you just plop it down on the ground somewhere and then look. It might not seem like there's much there underneath the leaves, but I think there might be some things under there.
Yeah, there's always a lot of things under there. I actually tried that. It's pretty cool, the things that you see in that small circle. You can take your circle to a bunch of different places in your yard or anywhere really, but if you'd rather take the outside indoors, you can do that too.
We're doing a lot of different videos every day. We're trying to do every day. From the wildlife department, sharing videos of what's going on with our animals while we're closed. Myself and some of my fellow educators are sharing videos of activities to do at home too. So we got a lot of different content coming out on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, very cool stuff. You can find all of this on the Nature Center's Facebook page. Pretty cool. Betsy, I know you've got little ones. They run out of things to do, so get them outside and look for a little nature circle, I guess.
I'm telling you what, and if you get a little camera for them too, little easy to use click and shoot camera, woo, you can go on a scavenger hunt. Super fun, and they think they're really cool with cool tech. So thanks so much, Jay. That was fun. Had a good show today. Had a lot of good stuff in here. More and more positive news is coming out. That's what we got to focus on right now. And what matters most with Russ and Laura starts right now.